Welcome to Globewise Entertainment, your ultimate backstage pass to Hollywood's wildest transformations, iconic stars, and the stories that shocked the world. In today's video, we're counting down the top 10 male heartthrobs who became bad boys, the once innocent idols who went from teen dreams to tabloid nightmares. From courtroom chaos to bizarre behavior, these stars prove that fame can flip in a flash. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and join the Globewise family, where Hollywood secrets are always front and center. And tell us in the comments, which of these stars shocked you the most? Or which movie made you fall for them in the first place? Let's dive in. 1. Johnny Depp. From Dreamboat to Dangerous. Once upon a time in the late 80s, Johnny Depp wasn't just another actor. He was a heartthrob of a generation. With his chiseled jawline, soulful eyes, and brooding mystique, girls swooned over him in 21 Jump Street. But Depp wasn't content being a teenage dream. He craved edge, darkness, depth. So he traded in his clean-cut TV image for the gothic genius of Edward Scissorhands, kicking off a lifelong bond with the bizarre. He became Hollywood's ultimate rebel artist, the type who dated supermodels, trashed hotel rooms, and hung out with Hunter S. Thompson. As Captain Jack Sparrow, Depp ruled the box office. But behind the scenes, his life became a stormy sea. A string of messy breakups, stories of wild behavior, and addiction rumors followed him like shadows. Then came the courtroom drama. A toxic marriage to actress Amber Heard turned into a tabloid frenzy of lawsuits, abuse allegations, and brutal public trials. Fans were torn. Was he the victim or the villain? From beloved heartthrob to Hollywood's most controversial bad boy, Johnny Depp's story is a haunting tale of fame, freedom, and the heavy cost of living on the edge. 2. Robert Downey Jr., the fallen prince who rose again. In the 1980s, Robert Downey Jr. was Hollywood royalty. With his tousled hair, sly smile, and undeniable charm, he was the poster boy for every teen magazine. Whether he was making you laugh in Weird Science or breaking your heart in Less Than Zero, our DJ was a heartthrob with serious talent and the world at his feet. But behind the scenes, fame came fast, and so did the pressure. By the 90s, the prince had fallen. Downey's descent into addiction was brutal and very public. He was arrested multiple times. Once found passed out in a neighbor's bed, another time speeding down Sunset Boulevard with drugs and a gun. His once promising career became a cautionary tale, and many believe his talent had been lost to the darkness for good. Then came the resurrection. After serving time and entering rehab, Robert slowly began to rebuild. Bit parts turned into bigger roles, and then came Iron Man. With one snap of Tony Stark's middle fingers, Downey transformed from a washed-up star into the face of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and one of the highest-paid actors in the world. From teen idol to troubled soul to superhero, Robert Downey Jr.'s story isn't just about falling. It's about fighting your way back and rewriting your legacy. 3. Mark Wahlberg. From Marky Mark to Mugshots and Redemption. Before he was a Hollywood powerhouse, Mark Wahlberg was just another troubled teen from Boston with six-pack and a short fuse. Long before the blockbuster hits and Oscar nominations, Wahlberg shot to fame as Marky Mark, the shirtless rap sensation behind Good Vibrations. With Calvin Klein ads plastered across billboards, he was the ultimate 90s heartthrob, a bad boy with abs of steel and street cred to spare. But behind the flashy smile and pop stardom was a darker reality. At just 16, Wahlberg's bad boy image was an act. He was arrested for a violent, racially motivated assault that left one man partially blind. It wasn't his first brush with the law either. By his own admission, Mark had already racked up over 20 run-ins with police by the time he was a teenager. Drugs, gang fights, and chaos seemed like a one-way ticket to nowhere. And yet, something changed. After serving time in jail, Wahlberg began to shift. He didn't want to be just another cautionary tale. He channeled his energy into acting, landing roles in Boogie Nights, The Departed, and The Fighter, and slowly rebuilding his image. not just as a star, but as a reformed man. Today, Mark Wahlberg is one of Hollywood's most bankable names. A family man, entrepreneur, and fitness mogul, but his past still lingers. He's asked for forgiveness, but critics often remind the world of where he came from. Wahlberg's story isn't just one of fame. It's a raw tale of redemption, responsibility, and the hard road from street punk to silver screen legend. For Shia LaBeouf, from Disney darling to Hollywood rebel, once hailed as a boy next door with a goofy grin, Shia LaBeouf captured hearts as Louis Stevens on Even Stevens, Disney Channel's lovable troublemaker. With his messy hair and natural comedic charm, Shia was every teen's quirky crush. But behind the innocent smile, a storm was quietly brewing. By the time he hit the big screen in Transformers, he had officially leveled up from TV goofball to full-fledged heartthrob. With piercing eyes, rugged charisma, and blockbuster fame, Shia seemed destined to be the next big Hollywood leading man. But then the mask cracked. Public drunkenness, bar fights, bizarre performance art, a haunting mugshot here, an unpredictable meltdown there. As his fame grew, so did his rebellion. Shia swapped red carpets for courtrooms and premieres for police stations. He wore a paper bag on his head labeled, "I am not famous anymore," turned real-life trauma into unsettling art projects, and left fans wondering, was his brilliance breakdown or both? The darkest turn came when serious abuse allegations surfaced, staining his image and forcing the world to reassess the troubled star. Shia's once charming eccentricity had morphed into volatility, and his boyish appeal was now eclipsed by controversy. Yet despite it all, there remained something undeniably compelling about LaBeouf. The raw talent, the unpredictability, the chaos that somehow mirrors the art he creates. Love him or loathe him, Shia LaBeouf is no longer Hollywood's sweetheart. He's Hollywood's most unpredictable bad boy. 5. Justin Bieber. From baby-faced idol to tabloid tornado, he had the world at his feet before he even turned 16. Discovered on YouTube, Justin Bieber exploded onto the pop scene with his hit single Baby, instantly becoming every teen girl's fantasy. With his swoopy hair, soft smile, and sweet lyrics, Bieber was the ultimate heartthrob, a Canadian kid who could do no wrong, or so it seemed. But fame hit hard and fast. By the time he turned 19, Justin's boy-next-door image had started to crumble. DUI arrests, reckless driving, vandalism charges, and explosive paparazzi run-ins made headlines worldwide. His fans were stunned. The Belieber dream was turning into a tabloid nightmare. At one point, even deportation from the U.S. was discussed. The once wholesome pop prince now had a reputation for bad boy behavior, wild parties, and a hot temper. And yet, beneath the tattoos and chaos, there was a lost kid in a gold-plated fishbowl, struggling to breathe. In recent years, Bieber's tried to rebuild, embracing faith, marriage, and mental health. But the scars of his rebellious past still haunt his legacy. From innocent teen idol to global cautionary tale, Justin Bieber's transformation is one of the most shocking in pop history. 6. Zac Efron. From teen dream to troubled rebel. Once upon a time, Zac Efron was the all-American golden boy. With his piercing blue eyes, charming smile, and clean-cut image, he skyrocketed to fame as Troy Bolton in Disney's High School Musical, becoming the poster boy for teenage innocence and swoon-worthy perfection. But behind the scenes, fame came fast and hit hard. As the pressure shed his Disney image grew, Zac began chasing edgier roles. The Paperboy, Neighbors, extremely wicked, shockingly evil and vile, but his transformation didn't stop on screen. By his mid-20s, the teen heartthrob was spiraling. He quietly entered rehab not once, but twice, battling an addiction to alcohol and drugs. Fist fights in the streets of L.A., erratic behavior, and a reputation for being unreliable began to haunt his once squeaky clean persona. Yet, even in his darkest moments, Zac never stopped fighting to reclaim control. Years later, with a rugged new look, a passion for nature, and a docusseries down to earth that showed a more grounded side, Zac began rewriting his story. not just as a bad boy, but as a survivor. The perfect prince had stumbled, but he was determined to rise. Scarred, yes, but real. 7. Charlie Sheen, from Hollywood royalty to wild card rebel. In the late 80s and early 90s, Charlie Sheen was the definition of a Hollywood heartthrob. Sharp jawline, slick charm, and born into stardom. With breakout roles in Platoon, Wall Street, and Major League, Charlie wasn't just a pretty face. He had real acting chops. The world was watching a star ascend. But behind the scenes, Sheen was living fast, too fast. Drugs, party, and high-profile romances followed him like a shadow. By the 2000s, his bad boy reputation only grew stronger with roles that mirrored his lifestyle, especially as the lovable yet wild Charlie Harper in 2.5 Men. Ironically, the role made him the highest-paid actor on TV, but also accelerated his downfall. In 2011, Sheen's behavior became unhinged. Public rants, rehab stints, porn star roommate, and his infamous catchphrases, winning and tiger blood, turned his real life into tabloid gold and career poison. Then came the bombshell, his HIV-positive diagnosis, which he kept secret for years. The reveal stunned fans and reignited controversy around his reckless lifestyle. Once a leading man adored for his wit and charm, Charlie Sheen became a cautionary tale of fame without breaks. Yet, through the chaos, he remains unapologetically Charlie, a complex figure who burned bright and fell hard. 8. Cory Felman, from 80s icon to controversial crusader. Once the poster boy of 1980s teen cinema, Cory Felman had it all. Fame, fortune, and a seat at the cool kids' table. Starring in The Goonies, Stand By Me, and The Lost Boys, Felman was a household name, beloved for his charm, energy, and unmistakable swagger. Alongside his best friend Corey Haim, they became known as the Two Corys, the ultimate teen dream duo. But behind the glittering lights, Corey's world was cracking. As his fame soared, so did the dark side of Hollywood. Substance abuse, toxic friendships, and the pressures of being a child star took their toll. His career stumbled through the 90s, and by the 2000s, he was a tabloid regular, no longer for his roles, but for his bizarre appearances, controversial statements, and legal drama. Then came the bombshell. Felman stepped forward with disturbing allegations about the abuse he and Haim suffered in their youth. Claims he says were ignored for decades. He transformed from former heartthrob to whistleblower, determined to expose the predators of Tinseltown. Today, Cory Felman walks a complicated line, part activist, part eccentric showman. To some, he's a hero speaking hard truths. To others, he's a faded star chasing the spotlight. But one thing's clear. The innocent boy who once won our hearts never truly made it out of Hollywood unscathed. 9. Drake Bell, the rise and fall of a teen idol. Once the smooth-talking, guitar-strumming teen heartthrob of Nickelodeon's Drake and Josh, Drake Bell was every 2000s kid's favorite cool older brother. With his floppy hair, effortless charm, and musical talent, he was riding high on teen stardom. Girls adored him. Parents trusted him. His future seemed limitless. But behind the scenes, Drake's world was anything but squeaky clean. As the spotlight dimmed and his show ended, Drake's career began to stall. He turned to music, struggling to stay relevant. Rumors of financial trouble surfaced. Then came the legal issues. A 2015 DUI arrest raised eyebrows, but was only the beginning of his downward spiral. The final blow came in 2021, when fans were stunned to learn Drake had been charged with attempted child endangerment and disseminating harmful material to minors. He pleaded guilty and received probation and community service, a shocking fall for a former Nickelodeon icon. Worse still, his former co-star Josh Peck publicly distanced himself. The bromance that once lit up TV screens was long gone, replaced by uncomfortable silence and lingering questions. Drake Bell went from beloved teen idol to disgrace headline, a cautionary tale of how fast fame can fade, and how dangerous the shadows behind the spotlight can be. 10. Jared Leto, the heartthrob who turned dark. Once hailed as a mysterious, brooding dream guy from My So-Called Life, Jared Leto became the poster boy for sensitive 90s teens everywhere. With piercing blue eyes and a quiet intensity, he captured hearts effortlessly. The type of guy who'd write poetry, play guitar under the stars, and steal your heart with a whisper. But as the years passed, the soft-spoken heartthrob took a much darker path. Leto didn't just vanish from the spotlight. He reinvented himself. He fronted the rock band 30 Seconds to Mars, cultivating a bizarre messiah-like stage persona. Fans began following him to desert retreats where he dressed in robes, sparking rumors of a cult-like following. Then came his infamous transformation into the Joker for Suicide Squad. Instead of praise, Leto was mocked for his unsettling on-set antics, sending rats, condoms, and bullets to co-stars in the name of method acting. Once loved for his quiet charm, Jared now embodied something wilder, weirder, and far more controversial. In interviews, he became cryptic. On stage, almost untouchable. No longer the teenage crush next door, Jared Leto became the beautiful enigma, the unpredictable rocker, the bad boy wrapped in designer chaos. And maybe that's exactly how he wants it. And there you have it. The top 10 male heartthrobs who became bad boys. From red carpet royalty to real-life rebels, these stars remind us that fame isn't always as flawless as it seems. Which transformation shocked you the most? Or which movie made you fall for one of these former heartthrobs? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We're reading them all. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Globewise Entertainment for more jaw-dropping stories, Hollywood twists, and behind-the-scenes secrets you won't hear anywhere else. Until next time, stay curious and keep watching Globewise Entertainment.